Hello, guys. Welcome to Tea from the Galaxy, a thirst-quenching podcast for the girls, gays, theys, and astrology baes, where we talk about anything and everything through an astrological lens. So today I have here Barbara St. Amay. Hey. Thank you for coming on this podcast. I'm out here in Brooklyn, so that's why I got a little background change. I had plans to be out here in New York, and I was like, I have to meet the beautiful owner of Each Element, the journey to self-curated care packages. So basically how I met you, or how I knew of you, was you sent me one of your care packages last year from Each Element, and I fell in love with it. When I got it in the mail, it was so beautifully well done, well made, like everything in your self-care packages, I was in awe. Like great quality. It was so tailored to me, like everything that I needed. As I was opening it up, I was like, this is beautiful. More people need to know about this.
Thank you so much for saying that. And did you order one as well?
I ordered one for my friends.
I know. I saw your order come in and I was like, oh my God, she loved it so much. She got a second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the air care package after that.
Yeah,
so
I got it for my friend. I got it like a little birthday gift because it's a perfect birthday gift too.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they really liked it.
Yeah, so Each Element came along because I fell in love with astrology. I dove head in.
Yeah.
And once I saw astrology, I couldn't unsee it. It was like, oh, it's in everything. I walk outside my house and like, there's something Gemini going on. I don't know, but like I just kept seeing it in everything and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, what can I do with this? Because I want to make astrology my life. So the thought occurred, but like I never did anything with it. Mm-hmm. Until one day I was ordering flowers for a friend and I found this company and they were delivering flowers with like care packages. They had like over a dozen to pick from. Then they had like all 12 of the Zodiacs. And I thought, that's a cool idea. Mm-hmm. So that went to the back of my head. And then one day I was just, I don't know what I was doing. I researched like boxes. Yeah. And then I found this one brand called All True. They used to be called Cause Box. Basically, the concept was they would work with like people from all over the world on like whatever it is that you can think of to like put into a care package monthly. And I like the idea that, let me subscribe. So I subscribe. I get a few boxes. I'm like, I love it. Mm-hmm. Every time I got a box, I was like, I'm excited. I really like this. There was no reason. There was no why. Why did you send me this? Like, why did you send me a blanket this month? And, you know, a candle. Like, why? So it's like, astrology could fix this.
Yes.
So
that's when everything started clicking together.
Uh-huh. Yep. That was it.
When was this?
This was like 2022-ish.
2022, you had the idea. Mm-hmm. Okay. During the Taurus Scorpio eclipses.
Is that what that was? Oh my God, yes.
I always think in years of eclipses, like the eclipse cycles. I don't know why.
Yes. And it also corresponds to me, like I was in some situation with a Libra and...
Libra.
And it definitely activated my 8th house placements because I was like, why am I obsessed? It's just like a weird, like my brain won't stop. And I was just like, what is this? And so that went down like, what's wrong with me? And like astrology popped up one day. Yeah. And I was like, there's got to be more to this. Like, I know I'm a Sagittarius. I haven't always resonated with that. So maybe there's more. So then I found out, oh my God, there's a moon sign. There's a Venus sign. Mm-hmm. That's when I learned.
That's when it started all clicking. Every podcast, I like to ask these couple questions just so we can get to know you a little better. Feel free to answer all of them, none of them, whichever ones you want. But I like to ask what your name is, your pronouns, your sexual identity, and your big three.
Yes. Name Barbara St. Amay, pronouns she, her, big three, Sagittarius sun, Taurus moon, Pisces rising, and sexuality we decided today, pan.
We decided today. We had a long conversation where we both feel the same way, where, because I always ask my guests that question of their sexual identity, because a lot that I like to talk about here is queer astrology as well. I think there needs to be like a bigger conversation surrounding it. So it was funny because I'm on the train coming here and I'm thinking, I always ask my guests these questions, what their sexual identity is. And if someone was to ask me, I'm like, I don't know. I'm very fluid on the scale that I'm like, okay, how do I say that I mostly date women? I seek out women, but maybe I'll date a man if he mentally stimulates me, but I also date non-binary people. So I was like, I think I'll say pan. I think pansexual. And you were feeling the same way.
Exactly. It's exactly that. For me, it's like, if I show up with somebody and I'm like introducing you and there's an issue with that person, that's kind of on you and not on me.
Yeah.
It's like, I am being open. And that led to us talking about coming out.
We just love who we love at the end of the day. Not believing in coming out. And I had that mentality for so long.
It's very valid.
Yes.
Very valid.
And I hope to see in this generation where people feel like they don't have to do that anymore. That they can just, in high school and they get their first partner and they're holding hands with like their girlfriend or whatever, and they don't have to feel like there's this like big coming out process.
Normalize love.
Yeah, I love that though. Normalize love. That's like simple, but period. So going back to your chart, I feel like your chart is pretty balanced in the elements. So you said you had a Sagittarius Mercury. And then what's your Mars sign?
Water Pisces.
Okay, so... Oh, but you lack the air.
No air in my chart.
No air. Okay.
It comes through, boy, does it come through. I think for the most part, I'm kind of quiet, and that speaks to the lack of air. I'm just now, because like I'm a newfound businesswoman, I am just now like learning what my voice sounds like figuring that out, like using it more, writing, speaking, the whole thing. This podcast is part of that process.
Yeah, for sure. Working on that throat chakra. I remember, I feel like, was I on it live? I remember you talking about you wanting to work on your voice and just putting yourself out there, communication and stuff like that. So I can relate in the way of working on my voice. For me, it's stabilizing my thoughts, I feel like, and like working on my public speaking. So I think the podcast is exposure therapy for me because as I record myself and I'm listening to myself back, I listen to, this is how I speak, or why am I saying like a lot? Or Serena, you can just pause in between like a thought instead of saying, want me to work on having a stronger, more confident voice.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I never struggled with like maybe connections or putting myself out there, but maybe confidently doing that, confidently standing on my own like words and thoughts. And I love the thought of like podcasts for that reason, of sharing my own thoughts, but other people's thoughts as well.
Absolutely.
And people who inspire me as well. So you definitely inspire me, like your whole business, who you are as an astrologer too. Like I love everything that you're doing and everything about you. So
you are like one of the first people that I noticed on TikTok when like I was just like, I'm gonna start this business. I need to get on TikTok because I wasn't on it. Was not on it in 2022. And then you were like one of the very first few astrologers that popped up, and it was like, you're making a lot of sense. Like it felt like you really connected. Felt like, she knows what she's saying.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I try. I like TikTok because you can pause in between each clip.
And like,
So I'm trying to like work on the not pausing.
Speaking, using your voice, it's a muscle like anything else, but it's one that like we don't talk about. It's a muscle. Like not everybody is a born, speaker.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's a process. Yeah.
Would you say you were like a shy kid growing up?
I was shy, but then also sometimes I had these moments, very just like very Uranian.
Yeah,
Uranus on the sun.
Yeah.
Just like a moment of like, I am not shy today. Like, it happens.
The waking up one day and being like, actually, I'm going to do it this way.
Exactly.
Or I'm going to act this way. Or I'm going to dress like this way. Me specifically, early childhood, when I lived in New York, I'm originally from the Bronx. And then I moved to Jersey when I was a kid. When I lived in New York, I was a very outgoing kid. When I moved to Jersey, I became very shy. I felt like an outcast. Ooh. That might be Uranus in my third house.
Absolutely. All of a sudden, you had to leave. Yeah.
So I like I had a speech impediment. I had to go to speech classes. So like people are looking at me sideways. But yeah, people would make fun of me sometimes. I got picked on. I had like hairy arms and people like, ew. Yeah.
You had to like leave the known, your third house, I guess, and go to the unknown.
Yeah. And when I lived in the Bronx, like my whole family lived there. I lived like down the block from my aunt, around the block from my grandparents.
That's gotta be
my
tough.
uncle lived with us, my cousin.
Yeah.
And to go into where we have no family. So
Yeah.
it was for the betterment of my parents wanted us to go to public school in Jersey. And then I turned into a very shy kid.
Yeah.
And I probably didn't find my voice again until maybe like 8th grade, high school. But it was like an angry voice now.
Ooh,
I feel like,
Leo.
yes. Now I'm like, oh, you want to pick on me? Like, I'll pick on you 10 times harder. So that's like kind of what it turned into. And I feel like now I'm refinding a calmer voice for me, like someone who's not so defensive and like always on defense and ready to fight, someone who just kind of alchemizing like things I've been through and sharing it. And yeah, so
I'm learning that I really, 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 really love a Leo Mercury. I'm just learning that because like I've thought about the people in my life and I'm like, everyone that I've like really connected with mentally, Leo Mercury.
similar trait of Sag Mercury and a Leo Mercury. One of my best friends has a Sag Mercury. Brutally honest, blunt. My Sagittarius Mercury best friend, she will say it how it is, and sometimes I just need to hear it just like that.
Yeah, having a Sag Mercury is wild.
Yeah.
It's really the shit that comes in my head.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, that's an inside thought. Like, just remind myself, like, that's just for me.
At least you have that knowing, because some people don't.
I'm telling you, it might be because Saturn and Uranus are like sandwiched between my sun and my Mercury on the other side. So it's just like, they're doing the work. They're like, oh, not that one.
Yeah, they're like pulling it back.
Every once in a while, one slips through and it's like, oh.
Yeah. Saturn is definitely doing some heavy lifting on those Sagittarius placements.
Yes, it is. Yes,
He's like, calm down, baby. Because I know a lot of Sag Mercuries that heavy foot and mouth syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't give me that energy, but sometimes I'm like, why'd you say that?
Yeah. As a kid, it was definitely challenging as a kid.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I was realizing, I was like, oh, Barbara, like, you can't say that.
So fire Mercuries, I think, get that rep period. Me, I've gone through time periods in my life like that too, but for me, it's my tone. Like I'll say something, or if I'm feeling very strongly about something and I gotta say it. I'm a big believer in sometimes people just need to hear it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I say it and then I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
maybe that was too harsh, or maybe not right moment. I think that's a little like the Leo Mercury, like I'm thinking of what I need to say right now. And so that's definitely something that I'm learning, like as I'm growing up, that, okay, Serena, think about the moment, think about the tone, think about who you're talking to, and like, you know, calm down your emotions a little bit, because sometimes I feel strongly and I'm like, this needs to be said.
My best friend is a Leo Mercury, and he's a writer, a really great writer. Creatively, it's a great placement.
Yeah.
Leo Mercury, hands down. Like a really good Mercury sign.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that enough.
Thank you.
Mercury enough.
We don't talk about Mercury enough either, and I love studying Mercury.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at singers and artists and stuff like that, their Mercuries pop out.
Our words do like rule the world. So
Yeah.
we should think about Mercury a lot more. I need help.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Studying Mercury. I know I've done readings in the past for people where I've asked things like, did you grow up like having a speech impediment or needing to go to speech, or like struggling with how you speak or not feeling understood? Do your words constantly get misinterpreted? Do you feel like you don't absorb information as fast as other people around you? Like, I think Mercury can also be tied to a lot of, even though this can be a controversial subject of tying astrology into a diagnosis, which I never will. I think you can view like a lot of stuff of mental disabilities by studying Mercury signs as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is 100. That is one that I saw in the birth chart of a family member, and it made so much make sense.
Yeah.
And I have so much more compassion now for this person because of that. So that's another gift of astrology.
Yeah,
it was just like,
for sure.
They're going through a lot mentally.
Yeah, we're fighting for Mercury rights here. Let's talk a little bit more about each element, your business. Why you chose elements too instead of like zodiac signs. I was curious about that.
Well, I chose the elements because I was like, who's paying me to make this? And nobody was. So it was like, I have to self-fund this. So I was like, I can't do all 12 now, but someday I'm going to do one for each sign. So that's the vision. In our fire care package, we focus on things for people who are excitable, spontaneous, people who speak first, think later, reactionary, always on the go, going to concerts. It's like adventurous folks, right? So in your care package, we have a journal. It's a vision board journal because fire signs tend to have a lot of vision. Positivity is a very big thing with fire signs, right? Like these people run on being excited.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's important for a fire sign to be surrounded by positive words of affirmation or supportive people. So there's this like shower affirmation card, like you can.
Oh yeah, I saw that one,
and it sticks to your wall, and it's positive affirmations.
I love that
like,
one.
In the shower, you're just like reminding yourself that you are a bad bitch, like as you know, as you're getting ready for the day.
I love that one because it's so easy. You just like, you know, when you're taking your morning shower, you bop, bop, bop. A lot of people are like, they forget, they don't want to write it down in the morning, or they don't want post-its around their house or whatever.
Exactly.
And yeah, no, I really like that one. And I never saw that one before either.
Yeah, I ritualized it. I turned my morning into like, oh, so I'm going to pull my card for the day. So I pull a message, a random one, and then I focus on that being like my positive entry into the day. And then we have this body butter in there, which is really great. It's by a Brooklyn-based Black beauty shop owner. And a foot care kit, because fire signs are always on the go. They're here and there, they're everywhere, and so their feet maybe sometimes doesn't get the attention that it needs. And then also the reason it's in there is because as Saturn was transiting Pisces rules the feet. Saturn was transiting Pisces when we curated it. I curated with a fellow astrologer. In each care package, you get a lovely letter.
Yes, I love it.
People don't write letters anymore. So that was another thing. I was like, you know, these care packages are great, but like, can somebody like, I don't know, tell me something, lift me up, support me. I don't know. So it's like, we could fix that.
Everything is just so thought out, thoughtful.
In our air care package, our sleep mask. There is a sleep mask.
Oh yeah, I saw the sleep mask in there and I was like, ooh, this is nice. Like, this is a nice sleep mask.
Yup. It connects to your phone through Bluetooth. You can play whatever you'd like, music, meditations, podcasts, whatever. Just like, it's helpful because like you do away with one sense and you can just focus on what you hear and you can choose whatever you want. Drift off to sleep, which I think air signs might struggle with sleeping.
Yeah.
I feel like that helps.
Yeah.
There was definitely something else that was intended to be in it. It was hot chocolate, but I had to switch that last minute for something. But you'll notice in our letter that it says hot chocolate, but it's now a very awesome sleep mask. Candle that burns down into a body serum.
Oh yeah.
It's very nice. And that just speaks to air in general, like it's like moisture being a good thing. Air that you deserve. This is a book of poetry. This poet has actually been like really popular, I think, on TikTok. The astrologer I worked with, she picked this book, and when I looked at it, I was like, wow, this is beautiful stuff. So we chose this really because we realized Uranus was going to go into Gemini. So that's going to be a disruption.
Yeah.
And then also Pluto was going to be moving into Aquarius. We're like, ooh, air signs are going to get
a lot. Everything's moving from earth and water into air and fire.
So air signs getting hit with so much, like a lot of heavy energy. We're talking Uranus and Pluto. So we're like, oh, all that you deserve. It's a very positive, uplifting book of poetry. So that was for air.
I love that. The Gemini Venus in me loves poetry.
Nice. Oh God, so we nailed it. There's this Astrology of You and Me Oracle deck. It includes like 72 cards of each sign as their, you know, role in parenthood, friend, lover, teacher. It's really great for like everyday use and getting to know the different signs, right? Like air signs are curious, and I didn't want these boxes to strictly be for people who already knew astrology.
Yeah.
It's for people who are wanting to learn, curious, and maybe this was helpful.
Yeah. And that's a really good learning tool too of stepping into astrology. I think that's perfect for even if you're a beginner, intermediate, or professional astrologer. Like you can use it, or a tarot reader too. You use it in your readings. If you're a beginner, now you're pulling cards and you're reading, you know, about the sign. You pull one card every day. That's your little like learning lesson for the day.
Exactly.
So big air signs things, very curious and wanting to learn new information.
Exactly. And then there's this rechargeable frother.
Oh yeah.
In there, the rechargeable frother is like very adamant that we include something electronic. This was before we had the sleep mask in there. Because I was like, it's air, there's gadgets, you know, and in my Sagittarius enthusiasm, I really wanted it to be a cooler gadget, but like the frother was something that was like meant to be paired with that hot chocolate. Oh, it bugs me.
No, when I saw that it was in there, first I thought of the gadget thing. I was like, oh, very, very much like air sign, you know, Aquarius, Gemini, like geeking out about something. And then the other thing, that thought that I had was to froth, you need air.
Yes.
So I was like, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, you using air to create something, like, you know, like.
I didn't think of that.
And then the Cancer in me is like, I love a nice kitchen tool.
And then I think that's it. Water.
The water element care package. That's the one that I got.
Yes. In our water care package, my favorite item is the gua sha. It's a black obsidian gua sha. Water signs always need to work on protection, boundaries, barriers. Please, that's like part of the work.
I use it almost every single day, actually. That's like
really?
that's my go-to.
The glow face oil, which comes with the gua sha.
Yeah, that was perfect.
This bath soak from Oha Essentials. It's a hummingbird sage scent. And then
yeah, I love it. I put it in my bubble baths because water signs. I love my bubble baths.
And then there's a safe journal in there. The safe journal came about because water signs, I think, or water heavy people, tend to overthink. And sometimes it takes journaling to figure out what is actually your stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes actually writing it out on paper, because otherwise you're just like feeling all these feelings.
It definitely unravels the emotions.
It's like a therapist recommended journal, and then at the end of it is a reflection of what can I do better next time. So it's kind of like, instead of it just being a blank journal, which was initially what it was going to be, we decided some like guidance, like process would be nice, and in this like therapeutic kind of way.
And I love that. When I saw this journal, I first of all, I just looked at it and it was like a nice quality journal, and then I opened it up and I fell in love with it because I never had a journal like that before. I love journals that make you feel motivated to actually want to journal in it too.
This altar cloth that I'm wearing today.
Yes.
I am the altar.
I know, I love that cloth too.
Yeah, and I love this one so much. Loren was the one who picked this, and I had never had an altar before this, and I technically don't have like a physical one outside of me, but it's like it's always a constant reminder for me to approach my life from like a spiritual place.
Yeah,
for me at least, that's what it's serving as, and like it was just like an encouraging nudge toward maybe forming an actual altar at some point. You know, and I think it's like the religious trauma in me. Things like an altar or anything outside of Christianity was just like not okay.
Yeah.
And so like having this altar cloth in there for the water babies, I just felt like if anybody's gonna get what to do with this, it's gonna be the water babies.
Water signs have such connections to their ancestors and just spirituality. Water element, they get the rep of being very like spiritually talented and in tuned and whatnot, and having that connection easier to the spiritual realm. So Yeah, no, I love the thought of an altar cloth as well.
The Earth Care package comes with a tea blend from a Brooklyn shop with a cute little like tea strainer because it's like loose leafed tea.
Okay.
Because Earth people are very earthy, right?
Yeah.
So they like things like tea. And then a Hack Your Nervous System deck. It has like a bunch of exercises you can do based on the stress level to help regulate your nervous system. And then this Grow Your Own Cherry Tomato Pot plant.
Cute. So cute.
So earthy. To
so earthy.
Something to life.
The earth signs love a nice plant.
The Florida Water fragrance, which is this cool spray that you can use around the house, on linens, on yourself. Florida Water has like a big, long history in the spiritual community, and earth signs are very connected to scent. And so,
yes.
Yeah.
How can people find out what their element is? Which box is perfect for them?
So if you want to find out your dominant element, you could go on my website and put in your birth details, your date of birth, time of birth, location. It'll pull up a number of all of your elements and you'll see which one you rank highest in. And based on that, you'll know if you are water dominant, fire, earth, water, and you can go purchase a care package. Or what I've found and what I like to do is I like to get what I don't have, which is air. So I can like somehow invite that more into my life. Like that book of poetry.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's useful for me to like read and like look at other people's opinions and like how people use their voice and not just like staying so mute and silent.
Yeah.
Like being inspired to like use mine more, definitely.
If you have a not so dominant element, to help bring the qualities of that element back into your life and integrating that into your life.
Absolutely. I'm
gonna have to get an earth sign care package then.
Absolutely.
I only have one earth placement in my chart. She's my Capricorn moon. She's holding on for dear life. She's like, come on, Serena.
You got it.
So speaking of integrating astrology into your daily life, when did you specifically start getting into astrology? You made the realization of how obsessed that you were with the Libra, and then you found out that you had a Scorpio Venus conjunct Pluto. You were like, oh.
It was that. I said, oh, I've been activated. It was lying dormant, I guess, for years. And then one day, someone came along and it was just like, oh shit. What is this obsession? What is this need for me to like know this person so like deeply? What the fuck is this? I was like, this is not like me. What is this? What's wrong with me? Led me to YouTube, led me to astrology. And that was it. I was like, oh,
hooked. Yeah.
A whole new world.
Yeah.
Compassion for myself for like being so obsessed. Like, girl, it comes from like deep seated things, you know?
That's why I love astrology, because once you open the can of worms of learning about one placement that you have, and then you start learning about everything else, and you're like, oh, and then you like pull up other people's charts, because that's what I did. Like my best friends and my family, I'm like, oh, okay. So you just understand yourself better, you understand other people better, and it just gave reasons, like what I was telling you earlier today. Yeah. Like it gave me reasons as to why everything is happening, why people are the way that they are. I have a psychology background, so I love analyzing just behavior, period. That's like the perspective of how I view astrology too. Like I'm very much how are these transits affecting like human behavior, or how does your birth chart affect who you are like as a human?
Does it like boost, do you think, like your empathy as well? Like
oh yeah,
astrology?
For sure.
Yeah, that
was a hurdle that I had to get past, actually, because knowing astrology made me way too understanding of a person.
Oh girl, yes.
But just because you understand doesn't mean that you should tolerate shit.
That part.
Yeah,
it got real dicey.
Yeah.
It got real bad, where I was like, just because I understand everybody so freaking much doesn't make it right, you know? So, yeah.
The curse of knowing astrology.
Ooh. Should we talk about Venus? She's conjunct Uranus right now. Right now, yes. I think it's right on top of my descendant. Oh, really?
Descendant is 27 degrees.
Let's take that in. Like,
let me see. I'm going to Pride this weekend. I'm like, am I gonna like meet someone, make some new connections. What's happening? That's going to bring a lot of sudden meetings, sudden breakups.
Pride.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of people meeting each other this weekend, a lot of connections happening. It brings like an extroverted energy, I feel like, to social connections. The thing with Uranus is, you know, it's a bag of tricks. You never know what you're going to get. It's not, I always say it's not good or bad, it's just unexpected. So
yeah, it's kind of, yeah,
what
it's
are you going to
that.
get? Uranus going through my 7th house of, you know, 7th house rules things of your close personal relationship. So your partner, so that is your romantic partner, platonic business partner.
Have you been okay since 2018? Like,
no.
No,
it's so crazy, but it's a love-hate relationship that I have, and that is just so Uranus, I feel like, because it's going through my 7th house, and then it's gonna hit my Gemini Venus eventually, and when Uranus moves into Gemini, and I'm like, oh my God, where's the stable love? Nowhere. But yeah, since 2018, I've had 3 breakups.
Venus being in Taurus right now, like Taurus energy in general, like I could speak to this. I'm a Taurus moon.
Yeah.
Always stubborn.
Yeah.
Stubborn, like, doesn't begin to be enough to describe how won't move a muscle energy Taurus can be if it is comfortable.
I think Taurus this can be debatable. I think it's the most stubborn sign.
Okay, let's debate it, because I think Aquarius. Hear me out. I'm stubborn. But I was battling an Aquarius, like my Aquarius friend, over something, and they were just immovable.
In traditional astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn too.
It's that too.
So cannot change an Aquarius's mind of how they feel about something.
I'd love to see an Aquarius and a Taurus go at it.
Battle, yeah.
Yeah, like fight it out.
So my best friend is a Taurus sun, Aquarius moon, Leo rising.
Oh my. Fixed.
Taurus Mars.
Oh,
she's
my
not
God.
moving.
I love them to death. I really do. I love myself. Yes. You know, that Taurus moon, I'm telling you, it takes a lot, like, emotionally for me to, like, if I have let somebody in to move the fuck on, it's taking years, and it's like, it shouldn't take that long.
Big Taurus things. I think that's, as a Scorpio rising, that's how I relate to Taurus in that way. Loyal to a fault. Like, so loyal that sometimes you stay in situations that's expired.
I think Uranus, this transit might have helped.
Yeah.
For, like, sudden shift into that new stable.
For sure. Uranus definitely made Taurus placements get comfortable with destabilization.
Yeah.
It definitely shook a lot of Tauruses up because, you know, the thing with transits and aspects is the universe is like, wants you to move. And Taurus is like, no.
Yeah.
And the universe is like, well, I'm going to make you move.
Yeah.
And it's harder for someone like Taurus. That's why these changes feel harder. Versus, let's say, Uranus and Gemini. Gemini is a mutable sign. I feel like the erratic changes that could be happening to Gemini placements, specifically when it's touching their personal placements, is they're more flexible. I feel like they can adapt to it maybe a little bit better. Versus Uranus going through a fixed sign.
Yes.
The fixed signs is hard, like especially Taurus. With Aquarius, I think Aquarius is stubborn in their mentality, the beliefs and their values that they hold. That if you try to fight them on like what they believe is true, that's a losing battle.
Once they've decided, there's really no sense in saying anything.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I remember like feeling, because I was feeling very strong about something, like really strong. I was like, no. And that Aquarius was just like, you thought. It was just a battle.
Yeah.
It was just like, whoa. Like, I learned that day. I said, oh.
Whatever their perspective is, you can try and shift it, but they are just seeing like that. Versus Taurus, I feel like can be like that. And also physically too. Come on, girl, like just like let's go out tonight. Or the plan is switching up. Like we're not going to the restaurant anymore, we're going to the bar. Taurus is like, nope. I made the plan to go to the restaurant.
Exactly.
Now I'm just gonna stay home.
I really wanted that chicken nugget.
Yeah, yes,
I really wanted that.
I just wanted to get.
They'll get cranky over food. It's really bad. Like Taurus energy. I'm sorry to dog Taurus. Why are we dogging Taurus?
No, I love Taurus. That's so funny because I love Taurus. A lot of my best friends have Taurus placements. Like I love Taurus.
But like when it's bad, you know? It's just sometimes
they just move
so slow
at their own pace.
I think it's been good. It's been a good like hey, there's other choices. You can pick another flavored chicken.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Because
something else.
That's the thing with Tauruses too. Like a lot of times they just need that exposure therapy. That if you like were to drag them to the other bar instead of the restaurant, like they have a good time. They can have a good time.
This isn't so bad.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. I do like it here. Unless they're sleepy. And then it's like, time to go home.
It's a wrap.
Time to go home.
It's a wrap. Everybody got to go.
But I understand the getting hangry as a Cancer. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I used to date someone who had a Taurus moon too. And when we both were hangry, WWE.
I bet. What was the meal? What was like the dish that you fought over? I'm just curious at the Taurus moon.
No, it was not even like a dish. It's just like if we both need to eat and we haven't eaten yet, like don't speak to me.
But like, was there ever a dish where it was like, if you eat that last piece of something?
Honestly, in that relationship, no. But I do have a best friend who is a Taurus and her man is a Cancer moon, and they have those arguments. I'm calling her out. They'll fight over food. They're like, "Did you eat the last da 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 da?" Like no. But in my relationship with my ex-girlfriend had a Taurus moon, I think we both had the understanding that we're food lovers, so we just always made sure that there was food,
abundance.
Yeah. Okay. Like. Or she would buy, she's like, these are your snacks, these are my snacks. And it wasn't really like an anger thing that if I ate her snacks we just always, there was always food around, like, or else we would get angry.
I found that to be true.
I hope she watches this. It's going to be so funny. I'm calling her out. So I've been good friends with this friend since I was in middle school. And I remember growing up in middle school and high school, she would always want to eat everyone else's French fries at lunch or like whatever. She's like, yeah, can I try that? Can I try that?
Before just biting it.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you go and try and take one of her French fries, she's giving you death stares. She wants to kill you.
Yeah.
Especially if she hasn't eaten yet. Like maybe she'll share with you if she's like already full and satisfied.
Yeah.
But no, do not.
Yeah.
Like,
as a Taurus moon, I have observed Taurus people, I guess, because like I like Taurus energy. Right?
Yes. Comforting.
And I've observed that Mercury, I've observed that Mars, I've observed the different placements, and it's like food is like, as much as we always like, you know, it's like the stereotype about Taurus, like food, it is like really that important.
It is. I think so too for Taurus, and I will say Cancer placements too.
Yeah. 100%. Yes, and Cancer placements.
Food is everything to me. I think Cancer more so like that nostalgic food. Yeah. Like basic stereotype. Yeah. Like for me, I'm like, I love a nice like home cooked meal, or just like when I'm craving something specifically. I need that, and then it transports me like to moments too. Like I love cooking for people. I think like the top two ways of bonding with people is through food and music.
Absolutely. I like that about Taurus and Cancer.
Me too. Oh my God. Yeah. Bonding over food 100%. Like restaurants and trying different foods and just enjoying food together. But what else is that? There's some crazy aspects happening right now that I want to get your opinion on. Like Neptune moved into Aries with Saturn in Aries. It's all squaring Jupiter and Cancer. Some crazy times right now.
Yeah, that's like big hitters, like Neptune and Saturn together. Like that's like such opposite energy as well.
Yeah.
Like
Neptune and Saturn do not like being in Aries, on top of them touching each other's very opposite energy. Neptune is like the dissolving of boundaries, it's boundaryless, and Saturn is like, no, we need boundaries. We need boundaries. Saturn is like, Neptune is like, I want to live in a la la land, and Saturn is like, get real.
Exactly.
And then in Aries is like, I want to do this now. Let's do this now. You're going to hear what I have to say, and I have an idea.
For a whole lot of fun, but also a whole lot of
disagreements,
like, rebuilding after.
Yeah.
I guess Taurus, where we're gonna have to be building something. Yeah. Having destruction right now.
Yes. Especially with yes. I keep saying 2025 is like a preview year.
Yeah. It might be dissolving things, honestly, that like aren't Saturnian enough, that aren't structured enough. It's dissolving things that weren't standing on strong legs to begin with.
100%.
You know, like if it's not rooted in Neptunian things, if it's not rooted in love, if it doesn't benefit your community.
All the outer planets, and the outer planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And they're all moving and shifting into a different sign. This year, we're getting like the sneak peeks because actually the end of the year, a lot of those outer planets go back into their original sign. Mm-hmm. But in 2026, they're fully going to be engulfed into a new sign. When we think of outer planets, they're generational planets, so they affect generations and societies of people. So when all those outer planets are shifting at the same time into a new sign, it's almost like our society is shifting, and generations of people, we're all shifting now.
Yeah.
Pluto has been in Aquarius for good, but Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, Jupiter has now been in Cancer, will be there until June 2026. So we're really just seeing a really huge shift.
Big. It's really a lot. In Aries, like these two planets, I think spirituality is like making a big comeback. Just because like fire energy in general is connected to like our spirituality. It's our fire, it's our flame. A lot of Aries like that are in my life, like they tend to be like pretty religious. Like now that I think about it, like they have some kind of faith.
And they're very defensive about their fate as well, which is a big Neptune and Aries thing that I feel like is going to happen.
Yes.
Because if Aries believe in something, like they're warrior energy towards it. Yeah. So Neptune is also rules things of like religion and spirituality as well. So I think you're going to see that energy just expand some more.
It's gonna get intense.
Yeah. Like, I believe in this. This is my God. Why isn't that your God? This is my spiritual belief. That should be your, like, why isn't this your spiritual belief? Like, we're just going to see more of that, I feel like.
Fighting over. Yes. Fighting over this.
Unfortunately, because Aries does one side of Aries is also rules things of, war and weapons, and it's the warrior, like what we said. So that is the downside. I think a lot of people are going to be fighting and a lot of disagreements over their own spiritual beliefs. But
on the flip side, it's like courage.
Yes, fiercely defending our spiritual beliefs as well, and the realization of needing more compassion. Is a big thing, because Neptune is also compassionate, and Aries is a leadership sign as well, realizing that we need more compassionate leaders in our society. I think will be a thing. Like, and this is in combination with Pluto and Aquarius as well. You're rich, you're famous, you're good looking. Okay, but what are you doing? Like, I don't care about this anymore. Like, people do not care about that anymore. They don't care if you're rich, famous, or good looking. They care about, are you helping people in need? Like, we can't afford to buy houses anymore. The homeless is increasing.
It's bad.
Yeah, things are just getting really bad. And it's like, okay, you're rich and famous. What are you doing with that? We don't care. Exactly. Like, let's do something with it. So a lot of people are going to look up to people who move with more compassion.
It's waking us up. Pluto in Aquarius. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pluto, what do you think that's going to give? Because that's such a long transit.
I love talking about Pluto and Aquarius because there's just so much I feel like it's going to bring. I think it's going to bring, like what I said about people not caring about superficial shit anymore, that they care about, because Aquarius rules things of the collective, of like humanitarian, like, that type of movement. It's activism. So I think we're already seeing of that happening, going down already. A lot of protests happening. That's big Aquarius things. Aquarius people in general, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, that's a whole different conversation coming from someone who has a Capricorn moon. And when Pluto was going over my Capricorn moon was tough.
They all need
it was hard.
They need astrology.
Yeah, Aquarius placements, you should hit us up. You might need some help here. You might need some help how to maneuver life. Pluto destructs, Pluto transforms though. So Pluto moving into such a sign that rules the collective, that's what it's going to bring. It's going to like destruct a whole society and, you know, rebuilds a new one, especially in this country. It's going through its Pluto's return. During a Pluto return, anytime a planet returns to its sign, it's the old is getting pushed out, and it's almost like a rebirth of a new chapter. And that's literally what's happening in our society, especially this country. A lot of movements I think are going to happen, but I think a lot more community-based things. I think people are going to start coming together more, supporting local businesses, supporting each other more community-wise, which I think was something that has been neglected in this country, because we see that in other cultures. Yeah. The quote that it takes a village, we see that in a lot of other cultures. Yep. In this country specifically, I feel like we don't really see that much. It's a very individualistic.
That would be a nice change.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Friend groups that are going to buy plots of lands and, you know, live together and raise family together.
Yes, commune life.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a big thing overall over the whole world. I think so. Ooh, yeah.
These outer planets be speaking real big, huh?
Yeah. Oof.
I speak long-term change.
Yeah. How can we stay in touch with you? What are your socials or things that you're working on currently?
Yes. I'm going to start doing workshops at the studio in Brooklyn called Maha Rose. My first one is actually going to be on Uranus. And I am looking for investors. So if anybody's interested in working with me through each element, I'd be open to that.
Hell yes.
And then, I want to continue to build each element, but that's going to take time. So I'm ready for that journey. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Oh, the website is thisiseachelement.com.
Beautiful. No, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your journey. I see you doing things. It inspires me to want to put myself out there. I see you doing webinars, putting yourself in events and, teaching events too and stuff. I love that. So
I have been a hermit, truly.
Yeah.
I've been a hermit.
Well, now that you found something that you love, and I'm a big believer, I am passion, Scorpio rising. Passion is everything for me. And when you find your passion, that should be how you're living life every single day. Your work should be your passion, or you need to include passion in your everyday life. And absolutely. I feel like if this is something that you love and you're passionate about, and then it's worth it.
Absolutely. That's the whole reason for life. Everybody should be passionately existing.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for being on this podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And for meeting me on this hot Saturday day.
It's all good. We had a good time.
Yes. Thank you.